So now, still under multiplication of matrices, we are going to look at how to multiply a row matrix by a column matrix. A row matrix by a column matrix. We are going to look at how to multiply a row matrix by a column matrix. A row matrix by a column matrix. So now, let's assume that we are given the row matrix, that is AB. We are given the column matrix, that is X, Y. Now don't forget that when we write PV, it means that we are multiplying the row matrix by the column matrix XY. And I told you that before you can multiply two matrices together, the number of columns of the first matrix must be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix before you can multiply. So now when you look at this row matrix, the number of columns is 2. I guess by now you understand why the columns are 2. And when you consider the column matrix, the number of rows is also 2. So because the number of columns of the row matrix is equal to the number of rows of the column matrix, that's why we can multiply. And so these are the multiplication goals. We have A times X, that is A times X. Then we have B times Y, then B times Y. So the row will multiply the column, that is all. The first element to the first plus the second element will multiply the other element of the column matrix. So this will be equal to A times X will give us AX, and B times Y will give us BY. So when we multiply a row matrix by a column matrix, the answer will be a scalar. This is what I mean by that. Let's look at an example. Assuming that we are given the row matrix, we have 1, 2, and we are given the column matrix, we have 4, 3. If we are asked to multiply P by V, if you are asked to multiply P by V, P is the row matrix and the V is the column matrix. So if you are asked to multiply P by V, then this will be equal to 1, 2 multiplying 4, 3. So these are the multiplication goals. We have 1 times 4 plus 2 times 3. And now 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 3 will give us 6, and 4 plus 6 will give us 10. And so when you multiply a row matrix by a column matrix, the result is a constant, it's a scalar, it's a constant, so you can see that. And so that is how we multiply a row matrix by a column matrix. Take note that the row matrix, the number of columns is 2. And with the column matrix, the number of rows is 2. And because the number of columns of the first matrix is equal to the number of rows of the second, that is why it's compatible under matrix multiplication. So in general, that is how we multiply a row matrix also by a column matrix. We are still under the multiplication of matrices. We are still under the multiplication of matrices. So we are going to look at how to multiply a 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix. So let's assume that we have matrix A to be equal to, we have A, B, C, D, and matrix B to be equal to E, F, G, H. Now, these are all 2 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. It has 2 rows and 2 columns. That's why we say it's a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, when we write AB, it means that we are multiplying the matrix A, B, C, D by the matrix B, that is E, F, G, H. Now, with the multiplication of 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix, the first row will multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix, then the second row will multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix, and that is all. I repeat, I say with the multiplication of 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix, the first row will multiply the 2 columns and the second row will multiply the 2 columns. Now, let me give you a pictorial view of what I'm talking about. Assuming that this is what you are talking about. This will be the first row of the first matrix, and this will multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix. Then when we are done, the second row will also multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix, and that is how the answer will come out. So the first row will multiply the 2 columns, as you can see. Then the second row will also multiply the 2 columns. Now, let's look at how we can do that. So this is what we are saying. The first row will multiply the 2 columns. So A will multiply E. We have A times E plus, then B will multiply G. That is B times G. And you leave a little space here. Then A will multiply F. That's A times F plus. Then B will multiply H. Then we have B times H. That's what we are done with the first row of the first matrix, multiplying the 2 columns of the second matrix. Now we are on the second row of the first matrix, also going to multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix. So C will multiply E plus D times G, then C will multiply F plus D times H. That's how the multiplication of 2 matrices, 2 by 2 matrices goes. So we have C times E, that is C times E plus, we have D times G, that is D times G. Then you leave your space here, we have C times F, that is C times F. Then we have D times H, and that is our D times H. So this will be equal to A times E will give us AE plus B times G will give us BG. A times F will give us AF plus B times H will give us BH. C times E will give us CE plus D times G will give us DG. Then we have C times F here. Then we have D times H here. So in general, that is how we multiply 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, let's take an example. Assuming we are given the matrix A to be 1, 2, we have 2, 3 here, and the matrix B to be 1, then we have 3, then we have 2, 1. Assuming these are the 2 matrices that we are given. Now, let's assume that we are asked to find I, AB, and II, BA. Now, let's look at how possible we can solve this question. Don't forget that we are given a 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix, and we are multiplying A by B. When we are done, then we multiply B by A. Now, with the AB, we are multiplying matrix A. That is 1, 2, 2, 3 by matrix B. That is 1, 3, 2, 1. So let's look at how best we can do the multiplication. So the first row will multiply the 2 columns. So 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2. 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2. Then 1 times 3 plus 2 times 1. That is 1 times 3 plus 2 times 1. That is 2 times 1. Then we have 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2. That is 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2. We have 3 times 2. Then we have 2 times 3 plus 3 times 1. Then we have 3 times 1. Now we simplify. 1 times 1 is 1 plus 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 1 plus 4. That will give us 5 there. 1 times 3 will give us 3 plus 2 times 1 will give us 2. So 3 plus 2 will also give us 5 over there. Then 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3 times 2 is 6. So 2 plus 6 will give us 8. Then 2 times 3 will give us 6 plus 3 times 1 will give us 3. So 6 plus 3 will give us 9. So when we multiply A by B, we are getting 5, 5, 8, 9. That's the solution to the first question, AB. Now we are going to look at how to multiply B by A. We are now going to multiply the matrix B by the matrix B. Then when we are done, we will compare. When we are done, we will compare whether they are the same or not. Now, we are given BA. Don't forget that the matrix B is 1, 3, 2, 1. So 1, 3, 2, 1. And the matrix A is 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3. And so we are going to multiply 1 times 1. So I told you with the multiplication of matrices, the first row will multiply the 2 columns. Then the second row also multiply the 2 columns. Now we have 1 times 1. So 1 times 1 plus 3 times 2. That is 3 times 2. Then we have 1 times 2 plus, then we have 3 times 3. 3 times 3. So we are done with the first row. Then we are now going to use the second row of the first matrix to multiply the 2 columns of the second matrix. And this will be equal to 2 times 1. That is 2 times 1 plus 1 times 2. We have 1 times 2. Then 2 times 2 plus. Then we have 1 times 3. That's 1 times 3. So now we simplify. 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 3 times 2 give us 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Plus 3 times 3 will give us 9. Then 2 times 1 will give us 2. Plus 1 times 2 will give us 2. Then 2 times 2 will give us 4. Plus 1 times 3 will give us 3. And now 1 plus 6 will give us 7. 2 plus 9 will give us 11. 2 plus 2 will give us 4. Then 4 plus 3 will also give us 7. So when we multiply B by A, we are getting 7, 11, 4, 7. When we multiply A by B, we had 5, 5, 8, 9. That means matrix multiplication is not commutative. I hope you understand that. You realize that even though this is the matrix A and this is the matrix B, when you multiply A by B, the answer we had is not equal to the answer we had when you multiplied B by A. That means that matrix multiplication is not commutative, because you can see for yourself that the answers are different. So in general, that is how we multiply a 2 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 2 matrix. And that will be all for now on this episode. Thank you.